Hi students, welcome to Wisdom Academy YouTube channel. Today I am going to start the first topic of physics in CBSE 10th standard, and that is light, reflection and refraction. This chapter is one of the most important chapters of the science in terms of the weightage of the marks if you look into the board examination. So let us start the topic, light. What is light? Can you think what is light? We see it everywhere. It is a form of energy. You would have studied in your basic classes itself. It is a form of energy. And what is the speed of light? It travels very fast. Actually, the fastest known speed, that is 300 power 8 meter per second. 3 lakh kilometer per second is the speed with which the light travels. So in this chapter, we are going to study about the phenomena of light, mainly reflection and refraction. You also have dispersion, which will come in the next chapter, human eye. So let us start with reflection. What is reflection? Reflection term comes from the word reflect. So when anything reflects back, when anything bounces back, so when the light hits a surface and bounces back in the same medium, it is known as reflection. So reflection is a property of light if the light hits a particular surface and bounces back in the same medium. The ray which is coming from infinite and hitting the surface is known as incident ray. It is known as incident ray. The ray which bounces back after getting reflected is known as reflected ray. And this is the surface in which the light hits, on which the light hits. If I drop a perpendicular at the point of intersection of incident ray and reflected ray, that perpendicular will be called as normal. This line is called as normal. So what is normal? Normal is the perpendicular line drawn at the point of intersection of incident ray and reflected ray. The angle made by incident ray with normal is known as angle of incidence. The angle made by reflected ray with normal is known as angle of reflection. I will write here, angle I is angle of incidence and angle R is equal to angle of reflection. So once again I will repeat, the ray which comes from infinite and hits the surface is known as incident ray. The ray after getting reflected, it bounces back in the same medium. This ray is known as reflected ray. The point of intersection where the normal is drawn, where the perpendicular is drawn, is known as normal. Angle made by incident ray with the normal is known as angle of incidence. Angle made by reflected ray with the normal is known as angle of reflection. These are some terminologies in this diagram. So there are certain laws of reflection which you would have studied in your junior classes also. Once again we are going to look back at it. So basically there are 3 laws of reflection. I hope you remember. The first law says that incident ray, reflected ray and normal, all these 3 lies on the same plane. It means that if on a particular plane the light ray is hitting, in this plane in itself it will be reflected back. When I am saying plane, it means that suppose this is the surface, then this becomes the plane, this perpendicular to it. So light ray comes, it will reflect back in the same plane. It is not possible that it comes from here and goes in the different plane. It is not possible that the light is coming and hitting here and goes in the different plane. If it hits here, it will go in the same plane. If it hits like this, it will go in this plane. So always reflected ray, incident ray and normal, all these 3 lies in the same plane. That is the first law of reflection. That is incident ray, reflected ray and normal lies on the same plane. Right. Then what is the second law of reflection? It says that angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. That is, the angle made by incident ray with the normal is always equal to angle made by reflected ray with the normal. These 2 are the laws of reflection. So now we are going to talk about mirrors. What is a mirror? You know what is a glass? Most of you would have seen glass, right? What you are seeing in window panels and all that, those are the glass. That glass, when it is taken and one side of the glass is polished. Polished by what? Polished by different chemicals. Usually we use ammonical silver nitrate for polishing the glass. So if you take a glass and polish one of its side, it becomes a mirror, and mirror starts reflecting things. So you can see yourself in front of the mirror. Most of you would be seeing mirror daily in the front in the morning, right? So when you go in front of your mirror, you see yourself. So that happens because the mirror reflects your image. So that reflection phenomena happens in mirror. Mirrors are basically of two types. That is a plane mirror and a spherical mirror. So plane mirror, as the name says, it comes from plain glass. So when there is a plain glass and you polish one side, whenever I will do polishing, I will draw inclined line like this. So this is polished surface. So you can understand that I have taken one particular glass and I have polished one side. The side which is polished, can the side reflect? No. So the remaining side will be called as reflecting side. Reflecting surface. So this is polished surface, this side is reflecting surface. So whenever I want to see any image of any object, I must place the object on the reflecting side, on the reflecting surface. If I keep on the polished side, then I will not be able to form any image because it is polished, there is nothing in front of it. So remember that always the object is kept in front of a reflecting surface. Right, now spherical mirror. Spherical mirror are basically of two types. They are concave and convex. Before I go into that, what is a spherical mirror? A mirror derived from a sphere of glass. There is a sphere of glass. From this sphere, if you cut out one portion, suppose I am cutting out this portion out, then this particular mirror will be a spherical mirror. So spherical mirrors are the mirrors which are derived from spherical glasses. Basically they are of two types, and those are concave mirror and convex mirror. Concave mirror and convex mirror. So how the concave mirror will be? Concave mirror will have the polished surface on the bulged side, and see the word cave. So this is like a cave. So inside the cave surface will be the reflecting surface. This becomes the polished surface, this becomes reflecting surface. So light ray will come and hit here and get reflected, right? So this is called as a concave mirror. So concave mirror will have the polished surface on the bulged side and reflecting surface in the interior part or in the cave side. Convex mirror, just opposite of it. So this particular glass, if I am polishing from inside and the bulged portion is reflecting, then this is called as a convex mirror. So light ray may come like this and it may get diverged like this. So since concave mirror is converging the light falling on it, it is also known as converging mirror. It is known as converging mirror. And convex mirror, since it diverges the light coming on it, it is also known as diverging mirror. So once again I will repeat, mirrors are basically of two types, plane mirror and spherical mirror. Plane mirror is derived from plain glass where we polish one side and one side remains reflecting, and spherical mirror is derived from a sphere of glass. If we polish the bulged side and inner side remains reflecting, it will be a concave mirror. If the inner side is polished and the bulged portion remains reflecting, it will be a convex mirror. Now we are going to see what is the difference between real image and virtual image. See, whatever I am discussing today may not be much important for 10th examination, but definitely it is important for understanding the whole chapter, and these things you studied in your basic class. I am just refreshing your basics of light, then I will enter into the main topic. This is just the introduction class, right? So real image versus virtual image. Real images are those images which are formed by the actual intersection of the light rays. So when I am saying actual intersection, you will understand it better when we go to the reflection by mirrors. So when I go in detail about the concave and convex mirror image formation, then you will understand it better what is the meaning of formation of image by the intersection of the rays. So if the rays really intersect to form an image, it is called as real image, and if the rays does not directly intersect but we make it to intersect, it is a virtual image. So real image, rays will really intersect to form an image, but virtual image rays will not really intersect, but we make it to intersect, make it to meet. So that kind of image is called as virtual image. This point I am repeating once again, it will be more clear to you when we enter into the reflection of concave and convex mirror. I will draw all the image formations, then it will become very clear. This point, keep in your mind, this point will become more clear when we enter into the discussion of image formation. Next property of real images, real images are always inverted. So whenever a real image will form, it will be inverted. So real image, they are always inverted, whereas the virtual images, they are always erect, they are straight, always erect. Third thing, the real image, it will be obtained on a screen. So whenever this rays will meet to form an image, it will meet at a screen and we obtain it on a screen. So real image is obtained on a screen, whereas virtual image, it cannot be obtained on a screen. It cannot be obtained on a screen. So we cannot take it on a screen. For example, I will make it more clear. The image which is formed during the filming of any movie. Have you seen any movie in the theatre? There the image of the movie will be formed on a screen. They will be having a screen. They will write a 70 mm screen like that. So that screen, the image will be forming. That image is a real image. You may think then how it is straight, how it is not erected. Because what they will be displaying, they will invert and display. So that when it comes on the screen, it becomes straight. Same way the image obtained by a camera is a real image. So inside the image, if you have seen from your, like if you ask your father, mother, they will tell you they used to have a camera in which a reel used to be there. So always when the image will form on the reel, it will be upside down. Then when we clean it, it becomes straight. So remember that image formed by a camera is also a real image. Virtual image example can be, the best example is mirror, what you are seeing daily. So the image is not obtained on a screen, it is obtained inside the mirror. Am I right? When you stand in front of a mirror, your image is inside the mirror, it is not on the mirror. I hope you are understanding. So as you move behind, the image also will move behind. That kind of image is a virtual image. Right? This is the difference between real image and virtual image. Now let us see what are the characteristics of the image formed by a plane mirror. So when I am telling about these points, you can recall yourself standing in front of a mirror. When you daily see yourself in a plane mirror, what is the characteristic of the image you observe when you stand? So the first characteristic is very basic, that is the image formed by a plane mirror is always virtual and erect. So the first characteristic is it is always virtual and erect. Right. What is the second characteristic? You would have noticed that when you raise your right hand, it looks that you are raising your left hand in the mirror, and when you raise your left hand, it looks like you are raising your right hand. This happens only with the left and right. Does your head become down or leg become up? No. So only in this direction the inversion takes place. This kind of property is known as lateral inversion. So in a plane mirror, we generally observe lateral inversion. Lateral inversion is the inversion of right to left and left to right, not up to down, down to up. That is called as vertical inversion. This is lateral inversion. What other characteristics you see? Remember that whatever is your height, same height you will be seeing in the image also. So height of the object will always be equal to height of the image. So height of the object will always be equal to height of the image. And the fourth thing is distance between you and the mirror. What distance object is present in front of the mirror, same distance the image will have from the mirror. Have you noticed that? When you start coming near to the mirror, image also starts coming near to the mirror. When you go far from the mirror, image also starts going back. So, always remember that distance of object from the mirror is always equal to distance of image from the mirror. So, this is the next characteristic of the image formed by a plane mirror. I will repeat once again, the image formed by a plane mirror is virtual, erect, it has lateral inversion, height of the image is equal to height of the object, and distance of the object from the mirror is always equal to distance of the image from the mirror. So, what we have learned in today's class? We learned what is light, and then I told you what is reflection, what are the laws of reflection. I said you what is a mirror, how mirror is formed, what are the different types of mirror, plane mirror, concave mirror and convex mirror. Then I told you what is the difference between a real image and the virtual image, and finally I winded up by telling you the characteristics of the image formed by a plane mirror. In the next coming class, we will learn about the reflection by spherical mirrors, concave and convex. Till that time, please go through all this content from your textbook. If you are a state board student, you also have this topic, you can go through your textbook, and if you are a CBSE student, you can go through your textbook. So, please go through your textbook. We will meet again in the next class talking about reflection by spherical mirrors. Thank you very much.